Are we getting good value from these systems? What do you think of that, Gina?
I feel like that's a trick question.
It might be.
Since you
Uh,
threw it to me first. Uh, I think there's all sorts of ways to get practical use from this. And I think there's a lot of applications that are just coming out that are fantastic. If you look at the medical field, for instance, there's crazy stuff going on. I worry about some of the things that we might be going to and using this technology for, like gambling or things like that. But there's so much good that can come from it. And, I'll leave my normal naysaying behind. I just keep thinking about when you ask that question, my first thought went back to something Frederic said about the users. I think the way that perhaps that it's being deployed where it's like, everybody try it and see what you can come up with probably does make it really hard from the utilization side, because you probably get somebody figures out something cool and everybody jumps on board in an organization, and that's just hammering the infrastructure. So I'm not sure that that's the best way to go about things. And maybe there needs to be just, at some point, this has to stop being a science experiment. Let's see what we can figure out. And there are tons of companies that are running it this way, I think about the startups that can looking through all of the medical documentation it takes to get an insurance company to approve a treatment, and trying to make that easier and faster so people can actually get their treatments versus waiting and waiting and waiting. There's so many ways, and there's probably other great ways. That's just the ones coming to mind. I feel like we need to start concentrating on this. Stop looking at it as my friend, the AI that's going to write my homework for me or write my blog post for me or whatever, and start really thinking of how do we use these important resources. And that would probably help on the inference side for the hardware to be able to keep up.
Yeah, I think no matter what, the AI infrastructure has to support the business, no matter the efficiency, right? Even if you have a very efficient system from an infrastructure perspective, but it doesn't support the business, then you're really not really helping yourself. I think the way we actually talk to our customers is that, one, they have to understand their business and then come up with a use case that works for them, and then provide an efficient solution that also is very adaptive, changes or moves so much quicker than traditionally workloads, such that it's measure, fix, and measure again, right? That's really the whole goal. If you're at 11% today, maybe that's not great, but at least make it such that tomorrow you're improving that 11%. And I think that's the other thing where I'm seeing is that people are not looking at improving. They're just making the situation much more difficult by adding more hardware to the equation.